What's up everybody, Bandit and Chad here for another Taco Tuesday, and we finally ordered some big modifications for our vehicles. So a lot of y'all have been kind of pushing and prodding for us to do some bigger modifications. You know, we have been fortunate enough to work with some really great companies thus far, and we're hoping to continue that streak here with a little bit larger and more expensive products. So we are working with a fairly large off-road accessories supplier. Right. They are out in Colorado, so that should give you a pretty good hint. But we'll kind of keep it a little secretive for now and see what your all's guesses might be. So we did both order something. Both of them, how much was yours? Mine was about 750 bucks.
And mine was about 800. So they're pretty sizable parts for our truck, and we're really excited for it. They should be coming here in, I'd say, probably 2 weeks, I'm hoping, and we'll be able to do videos on that. And obviously we want you guys to kind of put in your input and see what if you have any ideas as to what it is.
Right, so we've been kind of pinching pennies for a while, and we finally decided to empty our piggy banks and see exactly what we could get. But we did order each something entirely different. So what I got is not at all what Chad got, but they are both from the same company. So we'll kind of leave you all thinking about that. But we are both really excited. They should be coming again, probably the first week of March or so.
Should be. Yes.
Which I'll actually be out of town, but Chad will be taking over for that period of time.
I'll be taking delivery of those things, and more than likely I'll be showing you all the boxes on a Taco Tuesday or something like that. But I won't be opening any of them. I won't be showing you what it is, but you know, we'll leave it all up to you by that point.
Right, that's exactly right. So also in other news over the weekend, Chad did publish a video about making his TRD Sport here that we're riding in more off-road ready. So if you haven't seen that already, please do check it out. But that kind of got an interesting topic started in the comment section of the video, and we just want to talk about that a little bit. So obviously I got a TRD off-road because basically everything I love to do revolves around not necessarily being on the street. You know, I obviously love going off-road. I hunt, I fish, I do all that sort of things, and a lot of times I am going far off the beaten path. Is an off-road truly necessary for this lifestyle? Absolutely not. I just wanted the extra peace of mind knowing that I did have a locker, and personally I like the styling of a TRD off-road better. Chad, on the other hand, has a little bit of, you know, a different approach to his truck.
Right, so when I had bought the TRD Sport back in 2016, I went with that because not only did I knew it because I had a 2006 Tacoma that was of the TRD Sport package, but it was a pre-runner, therefore it did not have four-wheel drive, and I really liked the styling and the lifestyle that it had there. I knew that a locker was available to me through a TRD off-road, and at that point I did not do a whole lot of off-roading. Now, I had taken my pre-runner on some dirt roads, some back roads, and did some exploring with it, and I do enjoy a outdoor lifestyle, but I did not feel like it was necessary to have a locker or crawl control or anything like that. And I really, at that point when I bought the truck, I just wanted four-wheel drive, and that's exactly what I ended up getting with this truck. Like I said, I did not have four-wheel drive in the last truck, but once again, the whole point of that video was just for the average person who had anything but a TRD off-road or a TRD Pro, which does come with the lockers, extra skid plates, everything like that. With the TRD Sport SR, SR5 Limited, you don't get any of that stuff, and most of the time, well, actually all of the time, you do get that air dam up in the front, which really does take away from your approach angle. It doesn't really look all that good, and it doesn't really change your fuel economy any whatsoever, no matter what anybody says.
So what do we do with those parts?
You throw them out.
Exactly.
You chuck them in the neighbor's yard, as some of you had said. So yeah, that was more just for the humor of it, but that's just kind of how we felt about those parts. Even though the skid plate did serve a purpose, I did upgrade that, and it was a necessary cost, despite what some of you had said. I feel like, to me, maybe not to everybody, but that was a cost that I wanted to doing an upgrade on my truck.
Right, and really, no matter what vehicle you get, especially a new Toyota truck, and really, I mean, you can look back at all the history of Toyota trucks, even before they were Tacomas, but all of these vehicles are incredibly off-road capable, and they're designed to be very off-road capable. You know, just because you don't have a locker or the Bilsteins or whatever else, doesn't mean that you can't go off-road. You know, you're perfectly fine to do all of that. It's just, you know, certain trim levels certainly do have kind of their specialties, but just because you have one doesn't mean you can't do the rest of it. You know, just because I have a TRD off-road doesn't mean that I can't go down driving down the street just fine. You know, all of those trucks are perfectly capable for doing really whatever you want, but there are some small modifications that you can make to your truck to make it a little bit better for certain circumstances. So if you haven't seen that video already, do check them out, or check it out rather. And I personally found Chad's video fairly comical, so let us know what you think about all of that. So this past week, in terms of news, we've seen a couple different things, and the first is a new recall from Ram. So Ram is recalling 220,000 trucks for what they're calling a brake shifter interlock recall. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. So this recall that did come from Ram here pretty recently does affect a wide range of trucks. I don't remember exactly what year it goes up to, but it does come up to the current model that they do have. Do you know what year it was that it goes through? It might have been like 2010.
I think it was more recent, but
okay, it might be more recent. Either way, so the problem is that if you're holding on to the brake too long, I guess while you're sitting at a stoplight or sitting even in park, that breaks or heats up a little pin of some sort that's in the braking mechanism, and that pin can ultimately break, and then it leads up to your transmission possibly coming out of park and leading to you rolling away unexpectedly, which obviously is not good for anybody, people surrounding you and the driver. So Ram is recalling a lot of those, and will hopefully have a pretty decent fix that will hopefully take care of that issue.
Right, but if you do have more questions about this, or you know someone that does have a Ram truck, please spread the word. Also, if you do have any questions about it, either call up your local dealer or go online. You can search your VIN and see if your truck is affected, but certainly get that checked out, because obviously you know you want to be as safe as you can out on the roads, and especially if there is a recall, you definitely want to get that fixed. So in other news here, Lexus tops the JD Power vehicle dependability study again. This is the 7th year that they've done this for luxury brands that Lexus has won. So great job with Lexus. You know, obviously Lexus has the same Toyota dependability and really a lot of the same engines. This 3.5 liter V6 that we have in our trucks did originate from Lexus products. But great job there from Toyota and Lexus for getting the 7th year in a row for the most dependable vehicle there. Also, we've been seeing more and more about what we're going to call the Mark V Supra, and we were hoping that was going to come out in Geneva. So the Geneva Auto Show is in Switzerland. It does normally happen the first week of March, and it looks like we're definitely going to be seeing that new BMW Z car, which is sharing a lot of the underpinnings with the new Supra. We're going to be seeing that there for sure, but we're not exactly sure when we're going to be seeing the Supra. More than likely it'll be there, but maybe not in the exact configuration that we'll be able to buy. So it looks like they might be showing off like the road course race car there, not necessarily the production version, but we're at least getting closer and closer to seeing what that new Supra is going to look like. Also, Honda actually came up with a pretty interesting package here for the Odyssey. Now, again, we're not van people. I know we did touch on it, I guess that was last week or 2 weeks ago, about the new Ford van, but we're not normally van people, but this one really struck me as kind of interesting. So Honda is coming out with a new trim level for the Honda Odyssey called the Elite trim level, which basically just kind of goes into the parts department of a Honda dealer and picks every single option. So you're going to get your floor mats, you're going to get some upgraded wheels, you're going to get the rain guards there for your windows, a bug guard for the front, all sorts of other things, but they even go beyond that, and they're going to be able to option that with a tent. Now, the last vehicle that I can think that was optioned with a factory tent was the Pontiac Aztek, and we all know how that turned out, but this is certainly a pretty interesting thing. Now, this package is pretty pricey. It does start at $47,000, and it goes up to, I think, mid-50s or possibly even up to $60,000, but definitely pretty interesting there coming from Honda. Yeah, I definitely did not see that coming.
No, not at all.
But also over the weekend, we did install a lift kit on a 4th gen 4Runner, and it was actually a really nice setup. It was a Toy Tech with the Boss setup there with the adjustable coilovers in the front and the Superflex springs in the back with those Boss shocks there in the rear as well. But if you are looking into those lift kits, we can vouch, at least for the the quality and the build and the parts and everything that they use there for the 4Runner lift kits, it's really nice.
It's really nice. It's a really nice upgrade over what he did have, which actually was the shock and spring setup that came from the factory 10 years ago. It is a 2008 model, and it had 140,000 miles on it. So it was about time for a big change, and he says that it's a world of difference. And he also got some sweet Falcon AT3W tires on there.
Right, wrapped around some Method wheels, which are absolutely sick. We'll try to get a picture of that and post it up on our Instagram if you're interested. But that setup is just really nice, and they actually have a similar setup for our Tacomas and previous Tacomas as well. I believe the cheapest that you can option that setup, you know, they have all different sorts of things that you can get as options when you do buy that lift kit. You know, you can get different upper control arms, you can get all sorts of other things, but I believe that it starts around $1,300 and it'll go up to say $2,000 or something like that if you do get different spring packs, the upper control arms, and you know, external reservoir shocks and all this other stuff. But certainly if you are looking into a Toy Tech lift and you're on the fence, you can take our word for it. It is really nice stuff, and it was really easy to install. They did have a PDF online that kind of walked you through some of the more difficult bits, but overall everything turned out really nice, and we'll be showing that to you all before too long. So thank you all very much for watching. Be sure and leave in the comments below what you think each of us bought. We're super excited about it. I think you all certainly will be too. But thank you all very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Catch you next time.
See you guys.